Maureen, for that awesome introduction. But yes, my name is Trey Guster. I am a support rep here at Harris at the InHance division, and I will be going over our iRecoverIT disaster recovery and sharing the importance of this product and why it would be such an amazing thing for your company to keep your data safe and secure. So today I'm really pretty much just going over the importance of iRecovery. Um, iRecovery is a product that is included in our database management package as a disaster recovery software, and it really drives to ensure the safety of your company's data and our product's security. iRecovery acts as a fail-safe, if you will. We all know the importance of firewalls, malware blockers, and things like that to keep us safe from most threats, usually preventable issues. But the iRecovery is pretty much goes over how to keep your product, your data secure from issues that could turn a Thursday afternoon into a Monday morning easy. And one thing we would like to do is I would like to just kind of go over a few slides that I have put together for you guys here to kind of just shed some information, shed some light on what's going on. And a couple of things I will cover is, what is disaster recovery? How does our recovery work? And as well as what Maureen was saying as far as the end of the slide, I will open for questions and be able to answer anything that you guys may have. All right, so, and cyber technology nowadays, as we all know, is becoming a open world. It is a immersed world. It has so many ends, so many loose ends, so many ties. In the industry that we're in, as far as customer intake, we take so much secure data, so much information from these customers that will be detrimental to their safety if it was into the wrong hands, or as in certain natural disasters were to happen, certain issues that's happened as far as hackers. That's been a big thing nowadays. But as a part of our disaster recovery, iRecover is pretty much a software. It will run from a cloud server, and it uses that cloud server to store the data that we send. And it is set up, disaster recovery is pretty much set up for organizations to regain access to their data after unfortunate occurrences. It goes from issues as small as data corruption and software bugs to more serious issues like ransomware, natural disasters like tornadoes, fire, and most recently hurricanes that has really been affecting a lot of our nation. Most recently Houston for our people here in Texas, and then we have our coast regions. So it's really a extra mile when it comes to keeping everything safe that you would want to keep secure. Our iRecovery is encrypted. When we move your data over to our cloud servers, those are encrypted. That data is still secure. And according to the New York Times, 2017 set a world record for natural disasters and losses. So, as far as the monetary there, that's one big thing what we have here. Most of our servers, if we have, server fails or our servers will go down, loss of internet connection, it kind of it gives you guys a window of not being able to continue your day of business, so to speak. So we like to use our recovery as a backup to your backup. Most servers have nightly backups, or they run a backup per day type thing. And our customers that are on our database management package, they that are subscribed to our recovery, we actually go into the server as well. We add an additional job that will send off however you would like as far as as soon as every night, or even later to where we have some people that send once a week, once a month, if even. So it's pretty flexible as far as on how you would like to set up your iRecover It. So it is it's a feature that we like to center a lot of things around when it comes to keeping our customers safe. And here's our team support page for iRecovery. I mean, as you see, we have quite a few customers here that are already on it, that's been using it for years now. Um, and if you look around on the team support, if you guys are pretty familiar, here it has, our versions. The 7.1.07 is actually our most current. It's our most recent release here. There are customers that are on our older versions, but as same as any other product we have, if there are any questions or concerns that you would have with iRecoverIT, call in, submit a support ticket, and I will call you back as soon as possible. There has been new releases to our server desktop application, and that's what you're looking at here. These are just a list of our customers that I have called. I have went into their server, set up their installs as far as the new server application that will run, as you will see later in the slides. It will actually run a backup that is generated from our SQL database. Also, team support will be updated often. It's pretty much weekly, or I mean, I don't want to say weekly, but it will be updated often as far as with new information and knowledge-based articles on our recovery. So it kind of help you guys as far as to stay in the know as well. Now here is the server application interface. Every company is given their own login and password as far as on how to go into your iRecoverIT and set up for your account. This is usually as something that I would go in, say if you guys would have an issue, if you were to call in for any problems or concerns with backup not running, or if your backup is reaching a limited amount of space or something like that, I would use this to go in and monitor the account, see what's going on, see what we can change and what we can fix if need. There are a lot of different options here with the application. We can set it up to where it sends you emails as well, as far as a company's admin to be notified as far as on your backups and when or when not they have been sent off to our cloud service. So it's I mean, if you notice, I mean, there's a couple of different options here as far as, logging as an admin or logging as a user, and that's something that we can go over uh, with our administrators as far as on how to get you guys set up, or if you would want to give access to other of your employees that kind of go over that. We would like to keep it limited as possible, just to kind of, minimize any potential threats, but that is available as an option. And here is just pretty much a snapshot of an inner working of on how the product pretty much pulls a backup from our SQL database. And this is a server, and if you see, on the screen here, under the iRecovery banner, there is all of those different files on the account. Now, the software is available to download more than just your InHance database. It can pull in just about any information that you would have, but we do cap off as far as limit on space, and that would depend on your company's size as far as on if you can run the application. There are some customers who are on database maintenance that are signed up for iRecovery, but they are too big. So we have other alternatives for those types of customers as well, to kind of keep your information secure also. And here, so I go into your server, create a folder for our Harris DR, and that's pretty much Harris Disaster Recovery. I make a file from our SQL backups that will contain the information of your company's login, and that's pretty much just kind of for our, assurance to know exactly where we're looking for. And as you see, as this company here, they have tons of space that they can continue to use. They have purchased our 10 gigabyte package, which is usually one of our most common packages, and they'll be, covered for a good while. And here is another snapshot from a part of the wizard that is ran from backing up your service. And you see here it has a schedule where you can back up weekly, and there's other options, monthly and things like that as well. I like to schedule all of our times after the day of business. That's the best time usually to have minimal usage. There's not many customer intake coming in. There's pretty much no clerks or anybody in there still pushing payments or anything like that. So it optimizes the speed that backup can send to us, and it pretty much gets your end of day. If you would prefer to have it a different time, that's totally fine with us as well. Some people do in the morning. I have, some jobs that run at 4 or 5 a.m. My default is 10 p.m. as far as when I would like for the jobs to send off. But here it has the backup files to the cloud, and that's a different option as far as on if you want to add an additional folder, which we already saw. I created a folder for that, and I would also show you on our cloud dashboard as well where these files are held. But then there's backup reports. You can be sent from the software to your email, and it will let you know if you have not sent a backup in however many days, or if you have in however many days. It's pretty much up to you. We usually like for this software to be able to run even when the user is not logged in. That's, because some companies actually turn their servers off all over the weekend, or, use different login credentials to log in. And we like to give this a admin login credentials, so it can still log in at any time that it needs to run this backup for your safety. My most common with non-backups that have been sent when they should is usually when the server has been turned off or that user is logged out and we have not had a admin credential right for the program to run. So that's usually something that I like to go in and communicate with the IT department as far as on having that set up. Now here is pretty much the end of the wizard. It's running. If you see the at the bottom of the screen, it pops up that bubble saying that the online backup is running. So if it starts to run and you're on your server, don't be alarmed. It'll start to run by itself. Pretty much in the background, it wouldn't give you too many issues here. But this is how the wizard is going to pull your information. At this point, this is me doing an initial run for this company. They have 0 bytes so far. There's never been a backup pulled over for them just yet, and I am starting that, and I was using them to kind of show how to begin that process. And here is pretty much the end of that run. Oh no. It's pretty much the end of that backup. And it'll give us details as far as on what it did, as far as synchronizing the backup, running the files and folders for the backup to the folder, authenticating. I mean, it's a pretty detailed application. It'll give you, reports, and it'll just kind of show you everything that this program will do for your service and for your security. I can't stress enough as far as the importance of, just database security and potential loss of product. Especially with some of our customers that have been issues with some of our bugs or some of our issues that have been in our software. A lot of times, a backup is needed to get you guys back up and running from the previous night. And say potentially if if that backup didn't happen for some reason, or say there was a loss of power and the generator didn't work, that cloud will have that backup from that previous night. So if we needed to, we can reload your service from before any of the issues that could have happened. Worst case scenario, you would have maybe a few hours of lost information or lost transactions, and we can even limit that window per the times we would have our backups to run. And also here, this is pretty much the finished product. When the backup has been ran, it will update as far as on the used space, how much space you have left to go. And here it gives dates on when the backup was last ran. So if you do pull up the application, and this can be your first line of response, like, oh wow, I haven't received a backup in a few days. But if you see here, this is May 14th. The day I ran this backup was May 14th, and that will continue to update as well. Also, users can fire this from, you can run a backup straight from the application with this backup now. Select that button, and the system will pull that backup immediately, as soon as possible, and it will update your used space, and it would also update your time and date stamp for that backup also. And so here is pretty much this is kind of the inner workings of how we get those backups to run and generate. This is a SQL maintenance plan, and I run this SQL maintenance plan to generate the initial backup. Our database, as you all know, is SQL based, and I can go in. I get into the server. I'll go in and generate this job to run, however long, whenever we would like for those to run. So whatever you would like to have that scheduled, I can set that up, Monday or Thursdays, or 5 days a week, or 1 day a week, once a month. All of that is there to change. I also like to have my times staggered so that they are not running into each other. And I'm pretty sure I probably would have to change this one because it looks like that there is a 30-minute difference. But this job is typically what needs to be ran first. If this job runs first, this creates the Harris DR folder. This creates the backup for that company, and then the iRecoverIT software will go and pull that information. Here is a task scheduler. This is pretty much the second to most important. We need the most important will be the SQL backup to run, because without the backup, it won't send. The task scheduler, Windows-based task scheduler, is pretty much the judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to sending the backups off. The software will run a backup. Perfect, no issues with that. Although the task scheduler is what will run the backup every night on the time that I need it to run. If you notice a few slides ago, it had run weekly, but it was only Monday. It did not give the option to select all of the days in the week for the application. The SQL, it would, but for the application, it would not. So what we figured out to override the application as far as on running backups at certain times that we would like, we go into the Windows-based task scheduler here. And when I run this at the time that we would need it to run, this is what will send off. It will go into the iRecoverIT and it'll run the program as need. The program will run in itself, which is fine, but the task scheduler is what it's pretty much the admin base of the program. It will control the program and run whenever. I went the wrong way there, sorry. And here, we would like to run it whenever whether this user is logged in or not. I typically like to go in and set up a user account under the Harris DR with the IT's permission, and that will give us the access of running the program if the server is on, if the user is on or not, and it also run the program in itself when it needs to be ran. This is the Online Backup and Recovery Manager. This goes directly to the iRecoverIT site, and it runs without going to the site in itself. So this is a lot of the troubleshooting when I have an issue or if I have a problem with a program not running. I go here. I come to the task manager and I go into the history, and then I can tell, it'll pretty much give me a tall tale as far as on what's going on, why this product did not run. And usually it'll say, user not logged in, or it'll say as far as this the credentials have been changed or was not able to use password. That kind of gives me a surefire on how to fix and get your backups back up and running if need be. And here again, this is the task scheduler, Windows task scheduler interface as far as, and if you can see here, it is running, and that's the backup running, and I have it staggered at 1050. If you remember my first backup, I have it running at 10. That's the initial backup. The second job I have as far as at 1030, that's for the SQL to create that backup to send to the Harris folder that we will use to pull that backup over. Then the task scheduler here, I use this as the last time to run, and that will have the most current backup pulled from that folder to send over to our cloud service. And here is our cloud interface dashboard from the cloud servers that we use, and it kind of gives a brief overview of everything that we have. There's 43 accounts that need to be attended to, and a lot of those are not necessarily issues, like some people are reaching close to that cap that need to be verified, or there are some that are actually no longer with us that are still on here that have not released their information to be removed from our cloud service, and amongst other things as far as actual problem accounts as well. Here it kind of give us the count, and as you can see, our backups have been increasing from customer usage from March 18th. There was 1,000, and then April 1,400, and then now May there's 1,500. Allotted files and uploaded counts. So there's a lot of different things and a lot of different steps and uses that I have to go into and kind of check for myself. And actually Becky Stamps goes and we monitor the dashboard here, and it kind of gives us where these issues are going to and coming from. But this is where we're holding your space here. And this is pretty much just a kind of a snapshot of that account that we were working on. And it just, these are all of the successful runs for the backups in the calendar view. And, it lets us know that everything is running as it should. It gives us, the device information as far as your server or your authorized accounts that you would have under your backups. It also gives us more information as far as the locations and things like that on your servers. I mean, it's a service that is becoming more and more popular with a lot of different industries, not just ours. Cloud servers are pretty much everywhere now. Most of your information is stored on the cloud if you have a smartphone, or if you use some type of internet, some type of internet dashboard or database like Facebook. There, information are all on cloud servers, or Google uses a lot of the cloud server now. And this is just something that we were wanting to shed light on and give customers the information, as far as that we also have the ability to keep your information secure, whether if there was an issue or damages to any of your products internally, as far as your offices or your servers, and then also externally, as far as your bugs or your product issues, or a computer problem or something like that. So iRecoverIT is something that we have a lot of faith in, and it's extremely popular amongst a lot of our customers now. And if anybody would like to join in, if you don't have it, or if you would like to have any more questions about your iRecoverIT service, here are our points of contact. I'm sure you guys all have probably spoke to Deborah as well as Becky, and then introducing myself as the one of the first points of contact when it comes to supporting and giving information on our iRecoverIT service. So I hope I touched everything. I hope I kind of explained this thoroughly for you guys. And if there are any questions, you can most definitely, reach out, contact me, or I will turn it back over to Maureen to open up as well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Trey. We did not have any questions through the chat feature. If anyone else has a question, they're welcome to raise their hand at this time. But it doesn't look like we have any questions. And Trey, we really appreciate you. We appreciate everyone joining us today, and we hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you next month.